meet the authors. Our first guest today is Harry Day. Harry, we're so glad to have you.
Thank you for having me.
And we are glad to have Harry here with us. Today we're going to be talking about his work as an artist of all types. He does metalwork, he does painting, he does writing, and he'll be talking to us now. So Harry, good to see you. Tell us about, show us your books. You brought 3 books in for us.
These are my first 3 novels.
Hold up for the camera.
I wrote them as a passion and something to do when it's too hot to work in the metal shop in the summers and it's too cold to work in the metal shop in the winters, and I'm always in the woods hunting because we eat a lot of game as our protein source in my family. We're somewhat homesteaders.
You're homesteaders, yeah.
But the writing is just a passion. Stories, they just fall out of my head. One of them, The Zoo, was a short story I wrote while waiting on my second child, Ethan, to be born that last trimester. And it just a hilarious story in my mind that fell out of my head. And then after he was born, we have 2 kids in diapers, so I'm around the house a lot. And I just blew it up into a full-length novel. It wrote itself.
And what's it about? Tell us about The Zoo.
It's a dark comedy. It takes place in rural Mississippi Delta around a wildlife refuge where these 2 cousin brothers, they're not sure if they're cousins or brothers because their fathers are gone.
I hate that. Are we cousins or brothers?
And they scavenge, they live off the land, they moonshine, they're borderline criminals and just living their lifestyle. And then there's another character who is a war veteran of the Gulf Wars, and he was always kind of a cut-up, and so he became a party clown afterwards besides his pension, war pension. I don't know what you call war pension. I was never a veteran in the armed services, but he gets his government pension, but to make ends meet, he does a party clown, and so he, unfortunately, is a chain-smoking alcoholic.
Yeah.
And at night, he gets his get-up on, the clown outfit, and goes to sleep, wakes up by his watch alarm, gets in his car and goes to the job. Well, on his way to the job, driving through the refuge, his car breaks down. He gets out, his smoker's cough kicks in, a 1,000-pound feral hog runs to him, thinking, what is this? Runs him into the woods, so now he's set afoot in a clown outfit.
Lost in the woods in a clown outfit in Mississippi. That's
really,
the story.
It's really ridiculous. I mean, it really is ridiculous, but it entertained me.
Yeah.
And so I kept going with it because you have the 2 cousin brothers, moonshining, being criminals, basically. You have a half-ton feral hog trying to run this clown down because it keeps hearing this cough. And they all run across each other all day, at night, and then the next morning it culminates in the ending where one dies, one has redemption, and then the other goes into a questionable future. I can't say.
What happens to the clown?
One of the 3. One of the 3, yes. I'm not in bookstores. I'm self-published. I did these books in print to have a low ticket item at the art craft shows I do. I do a lot of Peter Anderson here in town, the Spring Art Festival here in Ocean Springs. I do festivals in Oxford, Starkville, Jackson.
Yeah, I've seen your sculptures are really amazing. So you do sculpture, metal sculpture work, you write,
yes,
you do some painting, you sometimes work building rocking chairs, you live off the land. You're just real Mississippi country boy. I love that. You're from, what's your hometown?
I'm from Madison County. I grew up outside of Madison, and when Madison blew up like it did, it's become a huge community. I moved out to the outskirts of Canton, Mississippi, which is the county seat. They have the Canton Square, the Canton Flea Market, renowned for that mostly. And we live about a quarter mile from the Big Black River, just above the floodplain, lots of wildlife, lots of semi-exotic birds that you don't see in the city, you know, the blue buntings, all these beautiful things. And besides protecting my chickens and my little dogs from the coyotes and the foxes, it's a glamorous lifestyle. It's fantastic. We love it.
Oh yes, sounds so natural and fun. I'm really impressed and envious in some ways to have such a natural life. And what kind of vegetables do you grow? You said you have chickens?
This year I have tomatoes, I have green peppers, I have a hot pepper plant, I have cucumbers, I have several types of watermelons, I have broccoli that we just harvested last night and ate, which was fabulous. We have sugar snap peas, we have honeydew melons, we have squash. I believe I've covered them all.
All right. Well, that sounds like a plentiful garden. All right. So where can people get your books?
I sell exclusively at the shows I do and through my website, harrymday.com.
There's the website now.
There
You
it
can see it
is.
on the screen. And how much is a book?
I sell them $10 to $15 depending on shipping.
Uh-huh.
And at
autograph
shows,
copies?
like when I do Starkville, I have my book, Conversation Blue, about a friend of mine who I went to college with, and I finished, he did not. My character in Conversation Blue was about me, was very depressed and did not make the ending of the book. His character was everyone's Rock of Gibraltar to lean on in those, you know, the college times where everything's so serious and everything's so...
That's not the way I remember my college times.
Well, we were different kids, I imagine, but that's okay. But in real life, he ended up taking his own life.
Oh.
And I, you know, successfully did not take my own life. I've beaten depression. I've lived. I've married. I have children. It's just beautiful. Life is beautiful. Yeah. And
that's a good lesson for anybody.
It's a special book to me because of the story of him, because this is the good.
And hold that up for people to see that
This is the good friend. I've sold a lot of these, mostly in North Mississippi, because that's where it takes place.
Well, Harry, it's so good to have you on our show.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for coming, and we really enjoyed having you. So we have all sorts of writers. I love these natural stories from deep Mississippi woods. I'm sure you will too. Stop by his booth or check out the website.